So I'm 4 days home after my detox retreat, and I thought I'd do a little vlog about stimulants. And I'm talking about the legal kind, coffee, sugar. It's one of the things that really stood out for me on the retreat, and I'm blessed to say that, I kicked those two quite a long time ago. But in my work of kind of noticing women coming to perimenopause exhausted, chronic fatigue, adrenals shot, stimulants have got a lot to say for that. So we had this amazing talk, and I can't do the same talk as the nutritionist because I don't know all the anatomy and physiology, but she was saying, we've got this scenario where we go for a cup of coffee and a cake with our friends in the cafe, and we're sitting there, we're having a nice chat, we're drinking our coffee and we're eating our cake, and what that's actually doing to our body is putting it into fight or flight. So that caffeine, and probably the sugar in the coffee and probably the sugar in the cake, has this stimulating effect on our body, and it starts sending out sugar to our muscles, energy, so that we can go, rah, there's a tiger attacking me, there's a bus coming at me, I need to run, I need to fight. So, that is what caffeine is doing to our body. It's setting off these trigger reactions in our body so that we can either run or fight. But of course, we're just sitting there having a cup of coffee and a cake with our mate. And so when the body doesn't do that, it kind of goes, oh, what am I going to do with all this excess energy? All these sugars that I've just pumped into all the muscles for energy. Shit, now I've got to mop it all up. I've got to sort it out. So all my organs are going into overtime, trying to deal with all this excess adrenaline, excess sugar, excess energy. It's working really, really hard to deal with that. So that's just one cup of coffee. Aside from that, coffee is so dehydrating to the body. Depending on the strength, it takes either 8 to 21 cups of water to rehydrate the body from having one cup of coffee. So you're having a super, super strong one, 21 cups of water. That was a really big eye-opener to me. I mean, I knew for me, coffee has that effect on me where I start to get anxious and heart palpitations and that kind of thing, but I hadn't realised how hard my body has to work to deal with something like caffeine and sugar in it. And of course the same goes for all the illegal stimulants as well. So, on top of that, you're eating your cake full of sugar, full of gluten. Gluten's not called gluten for a reason. It is like glue to your guts. So, if you've made bread, you know what dough's like, how sticky it is. That's what's going through your intestines. Your body is having to use so much water and so much energy to kind of flush that gluten and kind of, it works like this, it's massaging it, it's kind of trying to move it along your guts. Our bodies use so much energy just digesting food and digesting the crap that we put in it. So my tip for today is to cut back on your caffeine and your sugar and those stimulants. What they were actually recommending, cut them out completely, sort your body out, get your adrenals and everything back in balance, then maybe have one a week, certainly not every day, certainly not 4 a day. We really need to consider this. And also, I posted a while ago on my Instagram, I was reading Melissa Asselim's homeopathy book, and she talks about how much caffeine strips vitamins and minerals from our body. So the whole osteoporosis myth of menopause is actually diet and the fact that caffeine is stripping away all the things that our body needs to build healthy bones. So there's 2 really good reasons to knock it on the head, ladies. Really get rid of it. So, and point number 2. So we had the caffeine talk, and then we had the water talk, and it was like we need a minimum of 4 pints of water a day, preferably a pint before every meal. Warm water, so our body's not using energy to warm it up or cool it down. Put hot water in, your body has to work really hard to get it to body temperature. You put cold water in, it's got to warm it up. So again, it's kind of being aware of the energy our body uses when we put something into it to be able to cope with it and digest it. So And it was great because, you know, there was a question of like, well, does herbal tea count as water? No, herbal tea does not count as water. Water is water. And our tutor was an amazing, down-to-earth, salt-of-the-earth scouser. And excuse my profanity, this makes this video rated 18. Just fucking do it. Just do it. Drink the water. Just do it. It's not hard. So that was step one of our kind of maintenance program for coming home. So I'll give you another couple of tips. She was saying, oh, be on a really good multivitamin. I get mine from Cytoplan. All their stuff is food based, so it's really easy for your body to digest. So good multivit. Magnesium, we all need extra magnesium. Magnesium citrate is the closest to breast milk, the magnesium in breast milk, so it's really easy for us to digest. Also cut back on the dairy. You know, we're not babies. We don't need to drink baby food. So, you know, knock the dairy on the head as well. And a good omega, really good omegas. So krill oil if you don't mind having fish or meat. For those vegans, you can find a vegan omega. Again, Cytoplan have a really good range. So, you know, there's some little tips for you and tips for me that I brought back from my amazing week-long retreat. I'm still landing, still adjusting to eating food again after having just water and juices for a week, but feeling amazing. I really feel like my cells released so much and now they're full of light and full of beautiful energy. So I'm feeling great, and I'm really, really grateful to all the people who supported me going on that retreat, that detox retreat. And I'll continue to make little videos to kind of give you some tips that I learned while I was away. All right, lots and lots of love. Go well.